It is up, everyone. This is Captain Eon speaking, and I'm doing so in the hopes that I can clearly share today's dose of my cure, which I've entitled Sweet and Sour. As I continue getting my treatments every day, I believe I'm starting to learn what it is to have my steps ordered in God. Using the same medicinal analogy, before you actually have medicine administered, there are some preliminary steps. You have to get diagnosed, and then you have the prep work like tests and things of that nature. So in like manner, I'm realizing that every aspect of my life, God has geared towards my overall spiritual health and well-being. Example, I believe it was either yesterday or the day before, I was privy enough to, part of my treatment plan that God has in store for me was to hear a conversation between one of my, I consider, upperclassmen. He's been in the faith and been doing it on such a high level. I'm gonna say that he's in honor classes. But it's our brother Joel Urshan. And he's having this conversation with our brother, I believe it's Raymond Woodard, but that's actually, the podcast is called The Conversation. You should check it out, because I may not remember to put the link in the description. But during this conversation, he's talking about the fruit of the Spirit. And I have an idea, and I'm familiar with this. I use it in my life, but he comes at it in such a way that really opened new channels, new pathways in my neural complex that I had never really seen it in this way. God had the prep work preparing me for today. But in any case, he talks about the fruit. And he talks about it's all the fruit, not just the sweet fruits, but the sour, long-suffering. And he equates long-suffering to be a lemon, sour, tart, not everyone's first choice. Good in small doses. But he really dives into or expounds upon the genius of God. Because in this sour fruit, it has so many antioxidants, so much good stuff. And so after I heard that, I was like, wow. No one likes long suffering. No one likes the hard times. No one likes the down times, the persecution, the fire. But it is in those moments, it is in this fruit that the most anti-sin, the more anti-darkness immunity is built up. And again, all of this coupled with today's, it was like the prep work God gave me when I step into the lab today. The treatment actually began to hit that sweet spot. Chapter 12, verses 10 to 14 and 24 touches on the sour and the sweet. Nathan had just come to David, and this is when he says, look, there's a reaction for your actions. And he talks about how while he wasn't gonna die, the child that he was preparing to have was and that there would just be a perpetual ailment in his family. Then verse 24 comes and it talks about the birth of Solomon. Coincidentally, from the same coupling, same woman that the initial sourness came from. But it says God loved Solomon. I have a side note here in verse 25, just throwing out there. But from my understanding, did God rename Solomon Jediah? I don't know. I just mentioned it because I was going to title this Return of the Jedi or something. But in any case, further study. This was that whole sweet and sour thing. And while I don't want to get into bashing David, chapter 12, verses 15 to 23, and basically all of chapter 13 and beyond, starts getting into the sourness that was taking place. I was actually contemplating this thought, and I realized that the sample size of the lives of the people, our brethren that God shares with us in His Word, is so small that it's really inconclusive to try to form some type of opinion against them. Think about it. If David lived, I think, 70 plus years, and every day is a page of his life, and there's 365 days of a year, think about how much of his life and everyone else's life that is missing. So I take away from this that David got a part of, he got some lemons. He got some lemons, he got some limes. But again, touching before, no, I don't want to play the blame game. It's a part of a healthy spiritual immune system to have all of your vitamins and minerals. And God is so perfect that He has every single fruit so that we can be made whole. So with the sweet, there must be the sour. And it's perfect that way. And I'm grateful that our healer, the only physician that we'll ever need, has formulated a diet plan that gives us optimal spiritual health. Caption this, and I'm learning to cherish all of the fruits of the Spirit on this, me, my branch, which I'm grateful has been connected and hope stay connected to the true vine.